All right, Eric, having read the final chapter of Jujutsu Kaisen, were you satisfied with how it ended?
After 6 years of reading this, was I satisfied? No, I was not satisfied.
Based on this final chapter, I'm good with it because this is a shonen story. And to me, it ended how I prefer a shonen genre story to end, or a shonen genre series to end.
Okay, yeah, I could agree with that then, if that's the case.
But before we get to the final chapter, I feel like we should go back at the end of the finale of the Sukuna fight. Because in chapter 264, chapter begins with Yuji after he did the final Black Flash attack on Sukuna. And he was able to separate Megumin's body from Sukuna, right?
Yeah.
Yuji and Megumi, their situation, you know, Megumi himself, he's all like, I don't want to be saved, dude. He basically lost the will to live. And instead of Naruto's talk no jutsu, Yuji said, all right, dude, I'm sorry, but I can't tell you to live. With Junpei was the big example. He couldn't save Junpei, and he gave all these pretty words to Junpei to try to encourage him, right? And then at the end, he didn't save him. All that experience from that Junpei moment to this Megumi moment, he's like, bro, if you don't want to live for yourself and I can't change your mind, then I got to do what I got to do.
Yeah.
And he resolved himself to kill his friend.
This is still shonen story, right? So again, it does make him, by definition, a shonen protagonist. But again, the qualities that he has are not that, right?
Obviously, Yuji isn't the most popular character of Jujutsu Kaisen. Obviously, Gojo Satoru,
right? But he's dead.
He dead. Gojo Satoru had everything, all the OP powers, everything, the charisma, the style. He was the coolest character in Jujutsu Kaisen. That's without a doubt.
Without a doubt.
But then you have the main protagonist. All he had were hands, bro.
That's pretty accurate, yeah.
Like the contrast between Gojo and Yuji was that obviously Gojo's popularity outweighs Yuji, but I think Yuji was a better written character than Gojo.
Oh no, for sure, definitely. I would agree with that. A lot of the time, shonen protagonists do feel stagnant, right? As they continue on through the story, their ideals don't change, their goals don't change, anything like that.
Yuji, I think he's a breath of fresh air for me from all the other shonen protagonist characters.
I don't think he's an unlikable character. Like I really like him as a character.
The reason I brought that up was because his last Black Flash, thanks to the help of Nobara, worked and he was able to split. But Megumin had to be willing to split.
Correct.
And after his conversation with Sukuna in this empty void, Megumin ends up saying, just once more, I want to try living for someone else. And then he splits from Sukuna because at the end of the day, after seeing his friends work hard to try to save him, he decided to give himself another chance.
No, for sure. And then Sukuna was doing all that he could, realizing that the end was coming for him, realizing, oh crap, like, you know, let me try this last ditch effort to sway Megumi to let me stay, because
like once our soul splits, I'm dead.
Yeah, he's like, you killed your own sister, like, and me and your body, like, we've killed a lot of people, and you'll never have a normal life ever. Let me try to corrupt his mind to keep me here, but it's like, nope.
Megumi decided to live.
He decided to live, and I was
for
like,
someone else. Who is that someone else? We shall see. Oh, well, we'll never see. Another great written moment was after that, Yuji grabs the little piece of flesh that was Sukuna with just an eyeball. And he tells him like, hey, let's try to live alongside humans. And in the end, if no one accepts you, I'll live with you. So he's basically finishing off his final Talk No Jutsu moment with him from the previous chapter. That was a whole Talk No Jutsu chapter, which didn't work. And like, it didn't work for a whole chapter, bro. Were you thinking it was gonna work in a sentence? And obviously Sukuna's reply was, nah, bro, deuces. But he says, don't underestimate me, bro. I'm a curse. And as a true curse, he died a curse.
Yeah.
Staying true to himself to the end.
another reason why I really do like Jujutsu Kaisen is for the villains. You know, Sukuna mainly as well here, with him being the main villain of the story. I feel like Gege actually did the trope of the demon inside correctly, you know, right? Like, you know, you have stories where, you know, mainly Naruto, where you have this demon trapped inside of you and he ends up becoming your friend. Like, what? Like, at first, like, he's like the villain, and then through the power of friendship, he ends up becoming friends with them, right?
No change of heart.
Yeah, no change of heart whatsoever. And what other villain are you gonna get to where it's like, man, I don't give a shit about anything. I'm just gonna fight. Like, that's it. Like, you know, what was it, that quote that he said? He's like, I eat when I want to eat. Like, I sleep when I want to sleep. And, you know, that's it. Like, that's how I live my life. I fight whoever I want to fight when I want to fight them. And I was just like, dude, all right, cool.
It's becoming a trope now, but basically he was a villain where it took the whole squad to
take him down. Like,
everybody from the series. It took everybody that we knew from the series to take this man down.
To take him down. And he wasn't motivated by plots of like, oh, I'm gonna take over the world or whatever. He didn't care about any of that. He just like, give me a good fight. Like, that's it.
After the fight with Sukuna ends, what we get at the end of chapter 268 is the reunion of our three protagonists. Yeah, F you, Eric, and all the other fans that thought nobody was dead.
I still, again, if there's one thing that I don't like about Jujutsu Kaisen is this. Again, I'm not taking away the fact that she's alive, right? Nobara is alive. It's just, to me, I just don't like how in the time of need, when they needed her the most, she wakes up, right? I have no issues. You
hated the fact that she was used as a plot device?
Correct, right?
Utahime did say that they informed her of everything that happened and everything that went down in the past 30 minutes since she woke up.
Yeah.
All the things that happened in between, and she just has to take all that information and just focus on this one mission that they gave for her, which was perfect for her. She had the exact skill that they needed in order to hit Sukuna right in the soul, right where it hurts, right in the soul.
Plot device. Like, again, like.
But even if she didn't, like, if you think about it, even if she wasn't out of action for all this time, she is the most basic human, has the most basic human abilities out of all of them. And in this fight of supernatural beings, she would have been donezo. So like he had a right or wrong. Logically thinking, if now hindsight 2020, she had to be taken out because even at the end of the day, at the end of all the way to the ending, she's still a basic human. Just her curse power is pretty cool.
That still doesn't make it better. Like, if you're gonna have a character, like, why you have the trio, yet you're just gonna leave her out because of her powers, and she's not. Like, she's just a basic human. Like, I don't think that makes it any better. Like, if they're gonna be a team, they should be a team, and he should give her some sort of training. Like, I don't know. That's what I didn't like.
She could only attack from far range. That would be her only great, and she would still have the confidence saying like, hey bro, basic human abilities, I'm still going in, which is what got her in this place, in that trouble in the first place with Mahito. She decided like, I'm still gonna help my boys. She goes there and guess what? She gets wrecked.
I don't want the comparison to, oh, she's just another Sakura. Because what could she have done?
Right.
Nothing.
Right. So Sakura wasn't useless. She was written as useless, but Nobara, logically thinking, Nobara would have been useless in this war.
Now you're trying to write yourself out of it, bro. Now you're trying to write yourself
What
out
are you
of
talking
it.
about? I didn't write it. It was Gege, bro. I'm just going with what Gege gave me. What you talking about? What are you talking about? It was written and it is told.
As Nobara being a really cool character that I really respected, I just did not like the choices that were made.
I'm just glad she's alive. I'm good with it, bro. She lost an eye. Continuing on with the three protagonists, Megumi, Nobara, and Gojo.
Gojo.
With our three protagonists reuniting, Megumi, Nobara, and Yuji. I like this moment where Yuji gives Megumi and Nobara letters from Gojo from Beyond the Grave, dog. And after reading it, Nobara just rips up her letter and he's all like, hey, yo, what did it say? That was so bad. He's like, oh, it just told me the location of where my mother was. I'm like, oh shit, that's right. She was raised by her grandmother in the boonies.
Yeah. It's like, what do I care about my mom? Like,
and the opposite end, Megumin is laughing. And then they're like, oh crap, Megumin's laughing. He's like, what does it say? And then they read it and they're like, you cool with this? He's like, yeah, I'm cool with it. And it basically said, Gojo wrote, unfortunately, your daddy's dead, bro. He's dead and buried because I killed the dude.
He's like, I wasted him, bro. And I thought that was so hilarious. And he just started laughing. Moment. Like, that was a really great moment. Like, that was so funny.
Cause I did it, bro. It said Sawi with a chibi drawing of Gojo. I think it should have ended after this, like right the next chapter after 269. We get a lot of information in chapter 269. First confusing me with Mei standing in front of an old lady in what looks to be like this old small Japanese country shop.
Yeah.
On the countryside. And then we go back to Maki, which I love, making me ship Maki and Yuta ever some more. Well, we were wondering like what's gonna happen to Yuta.
Yeah.
Right?
Like what happens after this.
Yeah. But then I did mention that little picture that we saw was Rika holding his body. And I was just joking that she's trying to keep it alive. And then that ends up happening. She kept it alive using reverse curse technique.
The whole time, as in true yandere fashion.
But then this is where I felt iffy about this chapter, because then we get Maki, Kusakabe, Mei, and Todo, and they're all talking about what they could have done things differently in this battle. And I kind of didn't like that.
Same.
What did you think of that moment? I didn't care for it.
That was a poor writing choice. I was like, well, why do I care about any of this? Like,
but in the middle of that conversation, the most important thing I got from it was the fact that our boy Higuruma survived, bro.
Zay, if anything, that was the most important thing out of this, because Higuruma was literally MVP, one of the best characters in Jujutsu Kaisen by far. He immediately became one of the greatest characters in Jujutsu. Insanely good writing, like really, really awesome technique, and then just his prodigy. Character. Like quite.
And like you said, a prodigy. Kusakabe gives him credit. He says something along the lines like, hey, it's scary to see a guy who just learned to be a sorcerer in 2 months be alive and kicking after that war,
after that fight, bro. Like, and you only 2 months in.
And another little, I guess, not Easter egg or whatever you want to call it, but Higuruma responds with that with, it wasn't intentional. And I'm like, okay, I know he was ready for death because he said it, right? As he was fighting one-on-one against Sukuna, bro.
One-on-one.
He was ready to die. And here he responded it wasn't intentional, which tells me, did Sukuna not kill him on purpose? Or was he just lucky to be alive?
It could be either one. Honestly, it could be that Sukuna just didn't want to kill him, because that's what happened with Kusakabe. And even Kusakabe said it. He's like, Sukuna could have easily finished me off, but he was just playing with me. He was just toying with me. He could have just been easily as toying with Higuruma.
Going with that process, with what you just said, I think it would also make sense if Sukuna left him alive on purpose. So in case he did come out on top in this fight, Higuruma could come back at him. Because he was interested in his curse technique.
He was interested in his curse technique. Yeah, he was just like, okay, this is definitely something different than I've never seen before. And, you know, I'm impressed. And I was like, okay, cool.
The topic that they move on to next, the forbiddance of teaching the simple domain to curse users or outsiders, is what Kusakabe said. And the reason Kusakabe said that was because then we learned that Kusakabe ends up being the new head of the school. If some people are too confused with the techniques in Jujutsu Kaisen, but simple domains were basically a way to combat domain techniques, right? So avoid the one-hit KO. In that sense, then a simple domain would have been useful to a variety of characters throughout the series.
Correct.
Still, I don't get the point of them conversing like we could have done things differently in this fight when, bro, it ended up how it ended up. You know, you wrote it, all right, and it just feels like Gege was writing to argue the points that people were probably making online.
Okay, that...
And I don't think he did any mangaka, any creator needs to do that.
No, definitely not.
Like, this is your story,
this
bro.
This is your
go
story. Like, just go with it. There's no reason for you to defend yourself because... Now that's crazy because I didn't think about it that way. Now that makes sense.
So going along with the ending of this chapter, with Mei Mei being in front of the old lady, and the old ladies are like, "How did you know I was here?" And Mei Mei responds with a long dialogue, and the conclusion from the old lady was, Tengen told you, because then we learned that Tengen is still alive.
Yeah.
They found Tengen throughout the flesh of the remains of Sukuna.
Yeah.
So Tengen is still alive. And then Tengen's all like, hey, kill this bitch. Because Mei Mei kills the hag, who used to be the former head of the school.
The new
shadow style school. And now Kuzukabe is.
Yeah.
Chapter 270, second to last chapter, begins with Megumin and Shoko Sensei, the doctor, in front of Sumiki's grave. If y'all forget Sumiki, it's Megumin's sister who died at the hands of Megumin / Sukuna.
Yeah.
In 270, I felt like 270 and 271 could have been one chapter.
Yeah.
And it would have been, because we basically just do a speed run and it shows you all the characters that are still alive. Utahime and the principal, they were obviously at Tengen Shrine, doing what they got to do there. What I found funny was the Kamo family, all the blood users.
Yeah, the blood.
They were like in like some theme park, maybe. I don't know. They were out and about. The only family that was massacred in this war. Hell yeah, they gotta enjoy life, bro. They're like, bro, this war brought us closer together because we only have us, bro. Look at Maki. She killed her entire clan, dude. Then we get Maki visiting the reincarnated guys, the ones that she fought, which was the sumo guy and the old swordsman.
The old swordsman guy, yeah.
Basically, she just tells them like to stay out of trouble, lay low. And she also tells them like a location where she heard where they're going to be searching for reincarnators, and like, hey, you might go on this side to avoid prosecution, you know?
Yeah.
And then that old guy is all like, hey, man, if it comes time where you have to give me the axe, you better be there. I want to go one more round, bro.
Yeah.
And the manga guy that you had mentioned, we saw him trying to make a deadline.
Yeah.
We talked about this chapter. We totally skipped probably the most important part of this freaking chapter. And that's the fact that our boy, the freaking comedian, was still alive.
He was
Takaba was still alive, bro.
The freaking most OP character.
When Okatsu went there, he was
dead.
Bro.
And I think that was just part of the gag, was just like, oh, he's like pretend dead. But I thought like he was actually dead.
Probably my favorite battle in all of Jujutsu Kaisen, bro.
Yeah, no. Again, talk about another one of the goats of Jujutsu Kaisen. He's alive, and then I guess
he's talking to someone.
Yeah.
He's talking to someone in the restaurant, and they're talking about the way they're gonna stylize the jokes, what type of jokes they should and should not tell in their upcoming rehearsal or something. And we never truly get to see who he's talking to. And then they head out of the restaurant, and even when they're heading out in the restaurant, the speech bubbles are blocking our sight on seeing who he exactly is talking about. But the little bit that we were able to see, the long hair and the style of that long hair, it looks like it was Geto. And I'm like, WTF, my guy.
Yeah, like what? That was a plot twist for me. I was just like, what is this? How are you just gonna give us like a few panels to this and then just move on? Like, bro, what? And this
so
is why
for a second, we've seen the dead come back to life.
True.
And the only time we saw that was in the afterlife. Every time someone talked to someone that was already dead. They were basically in the afterlife. Yeah. So for a second, I thought, has this all been a dream in the afterlife? No, did Sukuna wreck everybody and you're in the afterlife? He never truly grasped how to use his power. He was just doing everything off on the fly. So is it possible with the use of his power, he was able to revive Geto?
That'd be some crazy.
Because, you know, there was a lot of people wondering if with the use of the comedian's power or someone else, would they be able to revive Gojo?
Because they did explain that whatever he found funny came true. And because
he found it funny to have a partner to make jokes with.
I would say, yeah, that'd be hilarious. And I'm not even mad at it. Like, that's great.
If that's a fact, then a lot of people are going to be booty hurt the fact that there's a possibility to bring Gojo back. But
it didn't happen.
It did not happen. And it will not happen.
It's okay. They can keep crying. It's all right.
But another favorite character that we get next is Higuruma. And it seems he was working on a retrial. So he doesn't want to be a sorcerer, but because he has the power, it seems that he has to go through a trial.
Yeah.
And they basically said, you have powers, bro. You got to work. And so he's seeking a retrial. And then towards the end, probably my favorite moment is that we get to see Hannah with Angel, all shy, standing for some reason, like right on the wall, leaning on the wall. And it's because Megumin is in front of her.
Yeah.
He's standing in front of her. And then Megumin tells her, I want to take responsibility for my actions. Let me be your right hand now, Kurusu. Because she doesn't have her right arm or hand, because Sukuna wrecked that. He wrecked that via Sukuna.
Yeah.
The wording could have been done better, which he regrets in a second, but because all of a sudden she's embarrassed and she's all like, oh my, do I hear wedding bells? And this man instantly backtracks. He doesn't even wait. He's all like, wait, hold on, what did I say? Oh, no, that's not what I meant. Wait, hold on, I've got a mission. Yeah, I gotta go. Because he did have a mission, man. He used that as an excuse to dip.
Awkwardly leaves. He's like, all right, man.
So when Megumin said to Sukuna that he was gonna try and live for someone else.
Don't you even dare. Stop. No, we're not gonna go there.
Hey, this is the second to final chapter, bro. I gotta ship someone. We had no ships in this.
But you don't have to do that. You don't have
give me one ship, bro. That's actually possible, man. Because everybody else was dying.
Oh my God.
Bro, everybody else is either dead or was dying. It wraps up with a random mission, bro.
Yeah.
Of our trio of Yuji, Nobita, and Megumin on a mission to find this curse user who seems to be targeting this woman who was looking at her boyfriend that was sitting down, and he had like this big ass frog eyes, demonic eyes. The final chapter, which was titled From Here On, or From Here On Out, we get to see the trio and how they would look in the future. Basically, Yuji is gonna come up with a plan, and then Megumin is gonna be like, yeah, bro, that would work if our sorcerer target was dumbass. And he's all like, wait, as the guy that made the plan, does that make me a dumbass? And Nobita, yeah, baka. And then Nobita comes up with a plan, all confident. And then Megumin's all like, that is precisely what I just told Yuji. Why that wouldn't work is the same thing. Why that wouldn't work? And she's all like, and Yuji like, baka. Mora, you're the Mora. Who's the Mora now? Was refreshing. Okay, so this basically the half of this chapter was them trying to come up with an idea of how to capture this random curse user, because there's people with awakened powers thanks to the culling game that are brand new curse users, and I guess they're gonna police them. That's their new job. Instead of looking out for curses to kill, I guess maybe that's cooled down for a bit, and now the next job is to find new curse users. They did actually end up finding the curse user guy. After they end up capturing the curse user guy, Yuji flashes back in a moment where he was talking to Gojo.
Yeah.
And when he gave the letter to Megumin and Nobita, and they're like, where's your letter? And like, oh no, I got to talk to him personally. And
Before he died.
This was the moment.
Yeah.
When they were training together. One of the last lines that Gojo says in that little flashback was, well, I prefer if y'all forget me, but if not, then whatever, do your own thing. But be your own person, because I expect a lot of great things from you. And when Yuji is talking to the stalker, it turns out to be a stalker that was stalking this hostess girl.
Yeah.
And he's talking to her and he's all like, hey, are y'all gonna like, well, what's my punishment or whatever? And he's like, well, we're not gonna punish you, guy. Like, we don't have to, like, we're not prosecuting you. We're not arresting you. We don't do anything like that. But you could use your powers for something else. And he's like, so, you know, this was the downside of your life, but hey, chin up, bro. I'm expecting a lot of great things from you in the future. And I'm like, there you go. The passing of the torch.
To a stalker.
Like, bro, I'm not even human. And my teacher told me that he expected great things from me. So if a non-human guy like me that like is a science experiment, like I'm pretty sure you're not that bad.
That also murdered tens of thousands of people. If my teacher said, I'm expecting great things of you, why not you?
After the little trio and crime solving, we get Mahito. He was talking to Sukuna in the void. I like this conversation because while Sukuna was still alive and we said that he died being himself, being true to himself, right? But now this is the afterlife, bro. And Sukuna is talking with Mahito, and from this conversation, I like the fact that he mentions that there were choices in his life. It didn't have to end up this way. And precisely, there was two paths he could have taken, and then we get to see two people behind him. And I think one of them, I don't know who you think they were, but for me, I think one of them was that girl that took over Sumiki's body, Yorozu.
Yeah.
And the other one was probably Uraume.
Yeah.
Kind of looked like Uraume.
Yep.
Then after that, Sukuna said, should there be a next time, it would be nice to walk a different path. All while having his arms around the second girl, or the second character. I'm sorry for saying girl, because it's been a little mysterious thing where Uraume is genderless, so we don't know. But just for the fact that they showed Yorozu, now I'm just guessing, because the Uraume we saw looked a bit more younger and crying.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm guessing crying because, you know, we failed, bro, we're dead. Well, not... Uraume probably doesn't care that they're dead. Just probably cares the fact that Sukuna's dead.
Yeah.
And Mahito loses it and he's all mad and tells him like, oi, you've gone soft. And then Sukuna replies as he's walking away, obviously, I lost after all, bro. And walks into the void with Uraume, who I assume to be Uraume.
Yeah.
I like that too. Sukuna, you know, I already did my thing. I wrecked everybody and left. And then maybe next time I could be
something
a household husband.
So would you say that Yuji's words did get through to him in the afterlife?
I think he was accepting of what Yuji was trying to tell him.
Because
after he's dead.
Only because he beat his ass. That's why. That's why.
Only because the life that he was living is over. So he's like, if there's a redo, bro, I'll be different. Yeah. Now I can accept change because the person who I accepted who I was, or the curse that I accepted who I was,
is gone.
Is dead.
Yeah.
And there is still one finger. The chapter ends with us seeing the one cursed finger sealed up in a box, but not protected because they said that it doesn't have enough curse energy to tether Sukuna's soul back to their world. So they're just leaving it right there alone.
It's where he found it in the first place.
Oh, I forgot about that.
In the very first chapter, that's where it originally was. So, and they usually just put it there. And he's like, there you go.
So the next series, someone's gonna find it and accidentally eat it.
Jujutsu Kaisen Next Generations.
They're gonna learn how to, instead of bisect, they're just gonna be able to cut.
Yeah.
Not complete, it's just a scratch.
Yeah, it's gonna be Brukuna.
We also, before that, got a shot of Yuta and the crew, Hakari and Yuji and the trio. They're either in their late teens or their teens, and that's exactly what Shounen is. which is why I accept this ending. Is it a happy ending? I guess you can say that. So if you hate happy endings, I can see how you would hate this. But this is the epitome of what this genre is.
Overall, like final thoughts, like what would you rate it? How would you compare it to other shonen stories? Like what are your thoughts?
I think the reason that people would hate this ending and how Jujutsu Kaisen ended is because it was so good at the beginning and it was so dark, and yet it didn't have a dark ending.
Okay.
Or it didn't get dark enough for some people.
Yeah.
Again, I think of this as a shonen genre, so it can't get that dark. There has to be some light at the end of this dark tunnel. With One Piece being the king at number 1, I would probably put Jujutsu Kaisen at number 2 for me.
At number 2 within shonen stories,
Shonen series.
there's a lot of them. So
There's so
we're
many.
counting the mainstream ones, right? So
Yep.
JT is currently sitting at number 2 for Jujutsu Kaisen.
Number 3 is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Out of a scale of 10.
Personally, I like the characters.
Okay.
You could complain about the stories, especially you Gojo lovers can complain all you want about how it went to shit after Gojo died. But I have dude, Jiraiya died. It's a shonen story. The teacher most
Must
of the
die.
time has to die,
Yeah.
or has to be incapacitated in terms of All Might, right? I'm good with it, so I'll give it a 9 out of 10.
That's wild, bro. That's crazy talk, bro.
It's not perfect. It's not perfect by any means,
A
but
9 out of 10, bro. That's crazy.
Hunter x Hunter for the longest time was a 9 out of 10 until the Chimera arc. Then it became an 8. Starting with One Piece at number 1,
Yeah.
where do you think in that list Jujutsu would fall under?
I'd probably put it like 4. Yeah.
Top 5, that's all I care about, baby.
And then on a scale of 1 to 10, I would give it a solid 8.
I'm capping. Okay, I'll rank it down to 8. If One Piece is 10 out of 10, then Fullmetal Alchemist is 9 out of 10. And if Fullmetal Alchemist is 9 out of 10, Jujutsu Kaisen is 8 out of 10.
Okay. No, we forgot about Full Metal. So to me,
Yeah, Brotherhood for those that haven't read the manga.
until One Piece ends, in terms of finished shonen stories, Full Metal is number 1. That is an absolute masterpiece and
in
perfect.
terms of ending.
No. The entire anime from beginning to end. From beginning to end, Brotherhood is perfect. There's nothing I would change about that. Nothing in that story.
So it's perfect in your book. Okay.
Yes. So in my
In
personal
terms of
opinion,
ending, from beginning to end.
from beginning
Okay.
to end, overall series, 10 out of 10, absolute masterpiece of a shonen.
And whether you agreed or disagreed with us, I hope that you have smiles and happiness, unlike Yuji, Megumi, and Omura had in this journey, in your continued journey. And we are out.